Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Richard Moglin, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up and use TC2000. So what's great about this software is that, one, it's completely free for college students or people with .edu email addresses. And also, it's incredibly powerful and very useful in determining trends and trading stocks. So what I'm going to be showing you how to do today is set up this trading interface right here. We've got the main chart with some moving averages, some Bollinger Bands, and then down here we've got volume, MACD, stochastic, and relative strength indicators. So the first thing we're going to have to do is head on over to warden.com/tacademic. Alright, so here we are at the website, and as you can see, it says here you can sign up for 3 months of complimentary service. So this just means that every time this trial runs out, all you'll have to do is re-enter your email address and revalidate your account, and everything else will be carried over. Your layouts, your stock lists, everything. So you want to go ahead and enter your .edu email address. And then you want to go ahead and fill out your information, and once you're done, you're going to click create account, and then you're going to have to go to your email address and click the validating link that they'll send you. So once you've clicked that link, what you want to do is go up here and click tc2000.com and download software, and then you're going to download the version that works for you, whether you're on Windows or Mac. So I've already downloaded it, so we're going to go ahead and close this version and open the application. So once you're on this screen, all you have to do is enter your information and it should set you up. So it's going to automatically load for me the last layout I used, but because this is the tutorial, I'm going to make a new layout and start from scratch from the default layout that you should be seeing on your screens. So the first thing I'm going to do is X out of these bars down here. This is only useful if you're actually using TC2000 to actually buy and sell stocks. So this is if you're managing directly through TC2000. Okay, now that we've got those cleared, what we're going to do straight away is right click on the main plot and click edit chart properties. And we're going to change a couple things in here. The first is going to change the color / grid back color to white. Then we're going to go over to scaling and click log, and go to price style and change the plot style from HLC bar to OHLC bar. And we're also going to change the color based on to net change and have the up bars be black and the down bars be red. Alright, go ahead and press OK, and now when we zoom into these bars, we can see what the OHLC bars stand for. So each of these bars represents 1 day's information because we are currently in a day period. If we click weekly, each bar would represent a week. If we click hourly, they'll represent an hour. But since we're on the daily chart, which is where we're going to be doing most of our training, here's what they look like. So how do you use these bars? So basically the left outspurt from the main line represents that day's open, the right outspurt represents that day's close, and then the highest point represents the high of the day, and the lowest point represents the low of the day. Okay. So let me go ahead and erase all this information just so this should look exactly how you should have it right now. So what we're next going to do is add a couple moving averages to this plot. You can see they already have a couple made for us. They have the moving average 40 and the moving average 200-day moving average. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and right click on moving average 40. You're going to click edit, and we want to change this to a 4-day moving average. So we're going to make the period 4, and we're also going to change the plot color to orange. That's it. We're going to press OK, and now we're going to right click on the moving average 200, and I like having a 200-day moving average because it's a great indicator of the long-term trend of the stock. So we're going to keep this one, but we're going to change the color to gray and also change the line style to this dotted line down here. Okay. We want a couple more moving averages, so we're going to go back and right click on CDNS daily or whatever stock is up there for you. So you're going to right click on this section, click add plot here, and type in moving average. So if you missed that, that was a simple moving average. So we want to edit this one right here, so we're going to right click again, press edit, and this is going to be a 10-period moving average. We're going to keep it blue, but we're going to change the style to here. I like having different line styles for my moving averages because it's just a simple way to differentiate very quickly between them. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add another moving average. So type in moving average, simple, and we're going to edit this one, and this is going to be a 30-day moving average, and we're going to make this bright red. There we go. All right, so these are the moving averages that we're going to need, and now we're going to add a couple more main elements to the chart. So first, you're going to right click just as we did and click add plot here, and you're going to type in Bollinger Band. So these gray lines right here are the Bollinger Bands, and basically what these are a statistical analysis going back a certain period about what the next day's price is likely to be. So in this case, as you can see, it's a 20-day period, and each of the lines represents 2 standard deviations, up and below. So what we're going to do is change this to 15, and that's it. You can mess with the shading, making it less or more. That's more of a personal preference. I like keeping it pretty clean, so I usually just stick with 20%, and that's good enough for me. Okay, the last thing we're going to add to the main chart is a reflection of how the overall market is doing. So what we're going to do for that is right click, add plot here, and we're going to type in SPY. So this is the SPY ETF, and it is a representation of the Standard & Poor's 500 index. So we're going to scale it by itself, and as you can see, it basically plotted the chart data for the SPY ETF over top of our current graph. And why I like having this plotted over our graph is because you can easily see when the market is really dropping how strong or how reactive the actual individual stock is to the market. So you can see that when the market dropped significantly, over 20%, CDNS actually moved pretty much sideways, which shows really good relative strength. So I really like having this, but I do want to make it a little bit less apparent. So we're going to change this to gray, and we're going to drop the plot opacity, not all the way, but just like this, so that when you zoom out and you want to look at the overall trend, you can clearly see how it's reacting, but when you're actually looking at your stock, it's not too apparent in the shorter time frames. Okay, that's it for the main chart. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and add the extra indicators down below the main chart. So we already have the volume set up, but we don't want the stochastics of the volume. So we're going to right click, click remove, and instead we're going to add plot here and do a moving average of the volume. And we're going to make that 50-day moving average. And we're also going to right click on volume, click edit, and we're going to make the up bars black and make this a brighter red. I like keeping my color schemes very consistent. It just helps me keep track of everything. So now we want to add a couple more indicators down below. So we're going to click on this green plus right here, and we're going to type in, the first one is MACD. So this is the 1226.9 MACD. That's exactly what we want, but we're going to change a few things. So right click and edit. We're going to make the plot color black. We're going to check negative value color and make this a brighter red. This is exactly the values we want already. The 9-day simple exponential moving average is our signal line, so that's good. But we also want to add plot here and do MACD, the normal MACD, not the histogram, and we want to scale it by itself. So what the MACD is showing, or the MACD histogram is showing, is basically the difference between these lines. And the MACD is excellent as showing the momentum of a stock. As you can see, when the MACD increases dramatically, the stock is on an incredible run, and when it starts to grow more negative, the momentum is slowing a bit. Okay, so the next indicator we're going to add is the stochastics. So it has this by default, and we're going to edit that a little bit. So we're going to make that 10, this 4, and we're going to make this line red. Okay, that's good, but we want to change this to be 4 period. And what the stochastics show you is how overbought or oversold a stock is. When the stochastic has a crossover way down here, it's likely that the stock will then move up. And when it's up here and there's a crossover, it's likely that the stock is losing momentum and will likely fall down a little bit in the near term. Okay, so the last indicator we're going to do is relative strength. And we're going to right click, add plot here, and do another simple moving average. And we're going to edit this to make it a 30 period moving average. And let's also edit this and make this plot color red. Okay, so this is the main setup we're going to have. Let's drag this down and give the main chart a little bit more room to work with. Okay, so here's our setup. So this is very dynamic, and it gives you a whole lot of information to work with when deciding to enter and sell stocks. Now let's focus over on this watch list. So what I'm going to show you how to do now is create a new personal watch list, which you can use to organize stocks that you are looking at. So we're going to click this down arrow here and click new personal watch list. Let's call this personal 1. Okay, so now we have here this information here. We're going to right click and click watch list properties and change this back color again to white. This is all personal preference. If you find something that you like better, go ahead and do that. It's perfectly fine. To add stock symbols to this list, you're going to right click, click add symbols to list, and you can either type things in, or you can actually right click and paste. If you have a whole bunch of symbols pasted, that's what I usually do. But if you just want to add a couple symbols, you can go ahead and do that. So we're gonna type in the SPY, click add, and the QQQ add. So these are the standard ETFs for the major indexes. This represents the NASDAQ, which is more tech stocks, and the SPY is representative of the Standard & Poor's 500 companies. So the final thing that I'm going to show you for this tutorial is how to have a little bit more room to work with when it comes to looking at different time frames and how to quickly switch between weekly, daily, and monthly. So what we're going to do is we have a daily chart set up already, just how we like it. So we're going to go over here and click duplicate, and then we're going to click this right here, move window, and we're going to tab here. So now we have two of the current charts we're looking at, and we're going to go over to this one, make it a weekly time frame by clicking right here. You can also go down here and click any time frame you wish, but we're going to stick with weekly. And then what you want to do is go over to the save icon and save chart as weekly, or whatever you wish, whatever works for you, and click save. I'll do weekly alternate, and then we're going to do that one more time. Move this here, and we're going to save this one as monthly alternate. So now what this allows you to do is quickly switch between a longer term time frame, monthly, to a little bit shorter, weekly, and then back to your daily. Alright, that's all I wanted to show you in this beginning tutorial. I do plan on doing a follow-up where I show you a little bit more advanced capabilities of TC2000, such as columns, easy scans, and writing your own PCF codes. But if there's anything in particular you want me to show, just let me know in the comments. But other than that, thanks so much for watching. See you guys in future videos.